The North Las Vegas City Council welcomes you to its City Council meeting and its Redevelopment Agency meeting. There are 4 public forums set aside for public comment, one at the beginning and the end of the Redevelopment Agency meeting, and one at the beginning and end of the City Council meeting. If you wish to speak, please complete one of the blue cards which are located on the table outside the main entrance where you entered. And to my left at the podium rail here, when you fill out your name and address, our city clerk sits here. If you'll hand it to them, they will bring it up. And Councilman Isaac, would you, if we get blue cards, okay, help me out. Thank you very much. Just so you, to make that in easier terms, we're going to open up the meeting, and we're going to do a business of the month. We're going to do some stuff. Then I'm going to turn the meeting over. We're going to just quit that meeting for just a second. This young lady next to me, Councilwoman Goins-Brown, chairs the Redevelopment Agency. So we've got a couple things on that agenda. We'll go through that agenda real quick. Then we'll come back to the main meeting. Okay, so we just insert this other meeting in the general proper meeting we're having today. So, Madam City Clerk, are we in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we are.
Great. Tonight we have the wonderful opportunity of having an invocation given by Pastor Sharonda Manor Foster from the New Antioch Christian Fellowship, Aliante. Follow that Pledge of Allegiance. Will be led by Councilman Black. Please rise.
Let us pray. Father God, we say thank you for this day, for this opportunity that we have, oh God, to serve such a great people, oh God, in this great city. We ask you to be with us, oh God, as we come together to tend to the business of this meeting. We said thank you that you will intercede on our behalf, that everything that comes before you, everything that is listed on the agenda will be done, oh God, in your favor, oh God. And so we ask you to open our eyes. We ask you to open our ears and our discernment, that we will move the way that you have called us to move. And we say thank you, oh God, for this council, oh God, for those that serve in this city, oh God. Would you bless them and bless them indeed, their families, their comings and their going. And so we say thank you now, God, as we move into this next 6 months of the year. Would you forgive us if we have forgotten or overlooked anything, and guide us now in the way that you would have us to go. And so we say thank you in advance for this evening and for everything that will go forward on tonight. It is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Ms. Rhonda, would you like to say something nice about your church, recognizing it in our community, what the value of our wonder parishioners of that church is?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. We are at Nature Park Drive in Aliante Parkway. We have been in the Aliante community for 12 years now. We also have a counseling center and a tutoring center that is there. We have our family-oriented ministry. Our services on Sundays at 12:30. And we have been such a value to the community with our open air fairs, child care, and even family counseling. And so everyone is prepared and ready, and we're ready to welcome anyone that wants to come in. We are a non-denominational ministry. Our senior pastor is Dr. Naida Parson.
Thank you very much. And once again, thanks for giving your blessings to us this evening.
Thank you.
We're going to move on we're going to go down to the front. We have the business of the month. We have a presentation by Councilman Black to give that presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my business of the month this month is a little bit different. There is indeed a business behind what I'm going to be talking about. It's an acronym, ACMS. ACMS, I don't really know what it stands for, but I know what it means, and you'll know what it means here in just a moment. See these awesome individuals over here in the yellow vest, if you all come forward. So ACMS is a contractor for the city of North Las Vegas to do our crossing guard service. And crossing guards are, in my opinion, unsung heroes. This is Yellow Shoes Jim. You see his shoes? I don't have yellow shoes like Jim, but I do have yellow socks. See, look, Jim. You catch that? Yeah, see, I'm yellow shoe or yellow sock Scott. Yellow sock Scott. But anyway, the reason that ACMS is our contractor, but the people that do the work every day, day in and day out, throughout the entire school year, helping our students in North Las Vegas, and in particularly in Ward 3, go from home to school and safely back home after school is the bare minimum. That's the main objective of these people in bright green is safe passage, point A to point B. But I've witnessed months after month after year with my own eyes that these individuals go above and beyond the bare minimum. This guy right here, he knows on the corner of Deer Springs and Aviary, he knows kids' names. He recognizes their siblings. He recognizes parents' cars that pass by. Deb, I've seen her. She yelled at me once on my bicycle because, literally, these folks take their jobs so seriously, and I just thought it was imperative for us to do two things. One, recognize them for going above and beyond to help our kids not only get to school safely and home safely, but to have a great day, to start their day with some positive energy, with a high five, with a fist bump, with a, hey, I like your new shoes. That's what these folks do for our children in North Las Vegas. And also, I wanted to create some awareness on their behalf because they're humans too. Hold up your stop sign. Everybody hold up your stop sign. Stop speeding during the school zones. If they tell you to slow down or do something to help the kids, obey what they say because they're trained, they're certified, and they care about the kids. So without further ado, the crossing guards from ACMS. Let's hear for these folks. So I have a certificate. I have a certificate for each one of you, and I'm just going to, in interest of time, I'm just going to read the names, and then I'll give these to Yellow Shoe Jim, and he can hand those to you, and then we'll all take a photograph. Is that okay? So will say one thing. The smallest number of years is 2 years of service. The large number, Dottie can't be here tonight. She's been 10 years plus. Put it in perspective, she used to help my daughter cross Simmons safely to go to Simmons Elementary School. My daughter just graduated from college and will be a first-year elementary school teacher in the fall. So put that in perspective, the commitment that these folks. So we have, let's hear it for Oscar Lopez. Actually, let's pass it down to Oscar. Dottie is not here. Dottie Hallquist. James Van Gundy, a.k.a. Yellow Shoe Jim. Benny Bowman. Pass it to Benny. Oh, Benny's not here. Brian Hendricks is here. I know Brian is here. Trade you. You hold on to that one. Bill Johnson. Debbie, Deb Nova, right? That's what your license plate says. See, I pay attention. She yelled at me on my bicycle. Did I already say that? Larry Suarzo. And Elaine Jones. So thank you all so much for keeping our kids safe, helping them have a fun day, and to feel good about going to school. We're going to take a photograph. Can I hold one of the stop signs? Thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much. Oh, here's your slide back.
Moving on to council items.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Brown.
By the way, as a teacher and as someone who's had his kids walking them to school, definitely the best business of the month ever. I'm going to have a real hard time topping that one. Wow. Okay. Anyhow, thank you very much, Mayor. Just want to let you know, myself and the Mayor Pro Tem, we both participated last week in the Salvation Army Owens Campus Tour on their Elected Officials Day. Just for you to know, both of us, we were actually busy helping serve food here to the most unfortunate. Actually, we've been there once before, but this time they actually had us help out in the serving line. And as always, that's always a very, how should I say, informative and educational time. We have a cultural exchange event. If any of you ever watch the History Channel, I'm a history teacher, so for me, I'm very proud to sponsor an event. We're going to have the Mayan ball game be played here, and we'll probably have a Mayan ball team actually represent North Las Vegas. But it's going to be a cultural event on July 15th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at CSN, the North Las Vegas campus, with the mayors from the state of Yucatan, possibly the governor of the state of Yucatan. They'll be here on a cultural exchange. It's free and open to the public. Again, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at College of Southern Nevada, North Las Vegas campus. And I'm happy to say here, I forget how many times I've done this, but Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown is going to join me, join forces here to do a back-to-school backpack giveaway and community resource festival. Thursday, July 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Neighborhood Recreation Center. You can't miss it. It's over here on Bruce, right next to the new J.D. Smith Middle School. We'll be giving away backpacks. We should have some community resources to come out. I might be able to get some free haircuts for kids. And we'll have more information, I guess, by the time we have our second meeting, I think. But thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Good report. Councilman Churchill, are you available by phone? I know you're on a little small vacation. Are you there?
Yes, I hear you, Mayor.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you. I did have at least one item on the council items.
Okay.
I wanted to first, wish that everybody had a very safe 4th of July. I had gotten some emails from residents within my ward, thanking us for attempting to make the holiday safer this year than it was in the previous years. And I just wanted to extend my appreciation to our police department, our patrol, as well as our fire fighters to being out there and responding to the calls that they had and doing their very best, as they always do, to keep our community safe. And I just wanted to add, to all of those residents who abide by the law and buy the safe and sane fireworks to enjoy the holiday without infringing upon the safety of others in the neighborhood. I want to thank them for abiding by those ordinances and laws. For the most part, it was, I think, a better year than it was in the previous years. But I just want to extend my appreciation and our appreciation to all of those residents and to our firefighters and our police. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Well spoken. Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Even though it seems like June was a long time ago, or the last time we were together, but I just wanted to, again, thank staff for all the diligent work that they did in making sure that we had a successful Juneteenth celebration this year. It just gets better and better. And Rebecca, where's my chief of staff? I just want to say thank you for the amazing work that you did, and Brianna and Rizelle and the other ladies on the 9th floor. The soundtrack for the music was absolutely perfect for the occasion. So again, I just want to say thank you for that. And then that we are finally the first municipality in the state to formally recognize Juneteenth as a Juneteenth and declared a holiday in North Las Vegas. Last Saturday, June 25th, Commissioner McCurdy and I hosted a pool party at Walker Pool, and I'd like to thank my colleague, Councilman Barone, for coming up and bringing, which one did you have with you this time?
I forgot.
Your little fur baby. He had Paco with him, and Paco enjoyed the water too. We had a great time, and I just want to thank the community for coming out, enjoying the pool and all the festivities, and we gave away lots and lots of prizes, so we had happy kids leaving there. And Monday, we're opening a restaurant called Wing Zone, and it's owned by the Capriati Group, and this is the brand's first franchise to open in the Western United States. And so it's a chicken wing concept, and it's Monday at 10:30, and they will have tours and lunch will be served. So if you are a chicken wing fan, come on out. It's at 1513 West Craig Road, and welcome Wing Zone to North Las Vegas.
Thank you. Councilman Black.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. I know that summer is still in full swing, but I would like to announce my back-to-school event that I hold each year in partnership with my friend Marilyn Kirkpatrick. We have an event at the Silver Mesa Rec Center at the swimming pool where we give away backpacks and school supplies for children in need, raffle off some awesome bike shop quality BMX bikes, have a fun party swimming in the pool with music and food. And so just wanted to put that on everyone's calendar, August 6th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Silver Mesa Rec Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, what does that school crossing guard pay? I'm retiring in December. That looked like a good gig. Nice people.
I'll share the contact information with you. And they have a vest that will fit you.
That was very nice of you to do that. I wanted to give you a high five on that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to adjourn this portion of the City Council meeting. We're going to go into a quick redevelopment meeting. Then we'll come back out of that to the City Council meeting. So at this time, I'm going to turn the gavel over to Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. We are moving on to the Redevelopment Agency First Public Forum. Now is the time to speak on any posted redevelopment agency agenda items. Madam City Clerk, do we have any blue cards or written comments?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Moving on to the redevelopment agency agenda.
Item 1, Redevelopment Agency Regular Meeting Agenda of July 6, 2022. Chairwoman Goins Brown and agency members, it's our recommendation to approve the Redevelopment Agency agenda as published.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Councilman Churchill. Councilman Churchill, can you hear us?
Yes. Aye.
And so we are, we're waiting for a vote. It looks like you are voting to pass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so that motion passes. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Chairman Goins Brown and agency members, the consent agenda consists of items 2 through 4, and it's our recommendation to approve the Redevelopment Agency consent agenda as published.
Thank you. A motion to entertain the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Aye.
That motion passes. Another exciting agenda. So moving on to the second public forum. Madam City Clerk, do we have any blue cards or written comments?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay, with that, I will close this public forum, and I'm going to adjourn this meeting of the Redevelopment Agency back to the City Council meeting and to Mayor Lee.
Thank you, and that was very quick. Moving on to City Council's first public forum. This is time set aside for comment on posted agenda items. Items listed under the public hearing and ordinances final action sections of the agenda will have their own public hearings when they are heard. So if you want to speak on any items on today's agenda other than the public hearings and ordinances, now would be that time. I see we have some blue cards here, but Paul and I have had a discussion. There's quite a few people here who are interested in item 36. And we'll be listening to item 36 as the agenda goes through. So, but if you have to get up and leave for some reason, this would be a moment you might want to come. Is there anybody here that would like to speak on posted agenda items right now? Okay, seeing no one, then we'll close the public hearing and public forum, and we'll moving on to the agenda.
Item 5, City Council regular meeting agenda of July 6, 2022. Mayor and Council, it's staff recommendation to approve the agenda as published.
Thank you, Chair. Council, unless there's any comments or questions, the Chair will take a motion to approve the agenda as published.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote.
I think I hit the wrong. We'll see when it pops up. I think I touched the wrong thing accidentally.
Just want to do a verbal on this one?
Sorry, Mayor, we're just going to switch screens because there was a switch in seating assignment, and it's so we got the wrong computer connected to the wrong individual.
No, I said I wasn't going to switch it first, but then I changed my mind.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem said she wanted to vote twice on everything, so she's basically voting twice on everything.
There we go.
Mr. Mayor, we're asking you to withdraw the motion and have them vote against, so because of the change in the
A
seating.
voice vote?
Yes.
Is that what you'd like?
It doesn't have to be a voice vote. We just need
If
you
you
to
want to
vote
restate
against.
your motion, is that what it is?
Just move to approve item number 5.
Yeah, there we go.
Councilman Churchill?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Items approved. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Mayor and Council, the consent agenda consists of items number 6 through 24, and it's our recommendation to approve it as published.
Thank you. Council, if there's any comments or questions, if not, the chair will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move for approval of consent.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote.
Councilman Churchill, aye.
Thank you, Richard. Items approved. Moving on to public hearings. Item number 25.
Item number 25, AMP-01-2022, Carrie Simmons Industrial for applicant Columbia Industrial Acquisition Company, LLC, to request an amendment to the master plan of streets and highways to remove a section of Cartier Avenue beginning at Simmons Street and extending east approximately 795 feet.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gronauer, I got a call from you today. I was quite busy with city council meeting. I didn't return a call, but welcome this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the council. My name is Bob Gronauer, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. I'm here on item 25, and I'll only speak on item 25 on this one because the next item is item 26, and 39 is related. But this item here is for an amendment to the Master Streets and Highways Plan to remove Cartier from the plan itself. It's about 820 feet. If I could get your attention to the overhead, I'll show you exactly what we're looking to vacate or to amend. On the overhead here, so this is a property of approximately 86 plus acres that we'll be talking on item 26. But this here, there's an east-west alignment in this area known as Cartier. That this is Simmons, and Cartier comes over here to Clayton. So this blue portion in this area, about 820 lineal feet, is an area that we're looking to remove from the Master Streets and Highways Plan. Your staff has reviewed this with your engineering department. They recommend approval of this application. Your Planning Commission heard this application. There was a unanimous recommendation for approval. With that, I would ask you to follow those recommendations for approval also.
Okay. Councilor, at this time, any comments or questions? If not, I'm going to open public hearing. Seeing none, we're going to open up the public hearing. I have Miss Lashana Vesley, if I say this right. Are you here? Welcome to our meeting today. And you'll be speaking on 25 and 26 because they're concurrent
Yes.
motions. Okay.
My name is Lashana Beasley. The address is 2304 West Cartier Avenue, North Las Vegas, Nevada, 89032. The question that I have is, we received some plans through Ms. Goins. The plans was not clear on what the portion that they wanted to remove, because my property is right there at Cartier and Chamberlain that they're talking about. It's other homes. In the beginning of it, they said that those properties that was above my residence
will not be removed. It's still people living in those houses. So what I want to know is, are they going to make it a cul-de-sac, where they said at first at the last meeting they were going to do it as a U-turn? That was back in May. Or are they closing out Chamberlain Street, period? So I need to know, because I'm getting mixed reviews, and like I say, the plan was not clear on what they wanted to do.
Let me go to staff, because they should be the ones that should make it very clear for you.
Okay.
Mr. Jordan, is that yours, or Mr. Dapprin, Director?
Mayor, Council, right now, what you have in front of you is the amendment to the Master Plan of Streets and Highways and the rezoning, which is the follow-up item. The tentative map for that item has been, I believe, already approved, and is just kind of out there in limbo state. And I believe part of that development, and Dale, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there will have to be a cul-de-sac at the end of that street to allow basically any fire, emergency vehicles to be able to turn around, street sweepers to turn around. So that would be part of the development for the applicant, not for the residents of Windsor Park.
So what we're doing, the master plan things we're working on today, but there will be another substantial drawing that will show that to the residents there. And,
Yes.
and how will that proceed so she can follow that?
Well, that would probably be part of the tentative map, then part of the final map. And those aren't public hearing type items. The tentative map goes before the Planning Commission, but I believe when this item was originally approved by the Planning Commission, there was a tentative map that was approved as part of that. And it should be reflected on that tentative map and then reflected on the associated final map that would go before, eventually be submitted to Public Works down the road.
I'm missing something. When can she get her hands on a piece of paper that she can look at and trust?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, if I may, they haven't submitted an actual set of civil improvement plans yet, which were accompanied by a new map design. So right now, all we see is just the general layout of the commercial subdivision, but they haven't submitted their transportation study to show, or their traffic plan to show how the movement's going to happen, what streets are going to actually be closed or cul-de-sac or looped. There's a couple different options they may have to do that.
Mr. Gronauer, do you want to work with us on this?
Mayor, he actually has a map to show right now that was.
That's all
On the map that I have is an older map. We got to put the cul-de-sac in there, but I'll show you what we'll end up doing. And the bottom line, to answer your question, we're going through that process right now. The tentative map was approved at the Planning Commission, subject to obtaining approvals here tonight. Once and if we get those approvals here tonight, there is a several-month process we have to go through sitting down with Public Works. Now, the answer the young lady's question here with respect to Councilwoman Goins-Brown, we have been working with the Councilwoman tirelessly on this project for about a year now, and we've given as much information through a handful of neighborhood meetings that we've had. We'll make the commitment through the Councilwoman's office that we will give that map as soon as it's finalized by your staff so you could see. But there is a condition on there on the tentative map that states that we have to at least a minimum provide an approved turning radius, which is typically a cul-de-sac that's located there. So you cannot move forward unless we ask for a waiver, and I don't believe your code allows for a waiver of a cul-de-sac in this area. So there will be appropriate turning radius, and I could show you, but the plan itself, so on the plan itself, this is Cartier located here. This is our property where the Cartier alignment would be located. What you have here is you have some homes that are located right here, or actually you have some land that's owned by North Las Vegas here that's vacant, and I think you might have a house here. So we would have to come into our property and make an approved cul-de-sac in this area. I believe this is Chamberlain that she was mentioning. Yeah, so this area, Chamberlain, is not going to be impacted in this area. So I think that answers her, the young lady's concern here. The issue is east and west, so the cul-de-sac is going to be down in this area here. And that will go onto our property because that's where we need to do the turnaround, because it's not appropriate to do anything here because you can't make any a safe turnaround. So With the concerns here with Chamberlain in this area here, it will not have an impact whatsoever. And the goal here is you don't want to get cut through traffic coming through the residential subdivision in this area, and that's one of the reasons why staff recommended approval. But you do have the condition that protects the city, protects the neighbors, that requires a developer to come in here with an approved turnaround radius, which is, as I said, typically a cul-de-sac. But Dale knows more than I do on engineering. There may be other ways to design the cul-de-sac, but at the end of the day, we have to have something that you can make a safe turn for your fire trucks and other utility vehicles and vehicles in general.
Thank you. Hang there, Bobby, real quick. Ms. Besley, would you like to come back up here for a minute? Are you understanding what you're saying?
Yes, I am. I'm understanding what I'm saying. The question was because we didn't have any type of understanding of where they was actually going to place the cul-de-sac. And the next thing was, as far as the traffic in them building, the sizes of the different warehouses they're putting there. And as you already know, the soil there, the houses are sinking. When we were in development back in 2018, 2019, Ms. Goins also knows about this. They were talking about taking the homes that were there because they were developing a park in that area, but now they're placing warehouses. My home was actually going to be a part of that park. They were going to put the house on stacks and put certain weights up under the house to prevent the house from sinking. But now we have all this construction that's coming in, and I'm trying to figure out how are they going to secure the soil and prevent the houses from further sinking, because there's going to be a lot of construction work that's taking place there. And one more thing, also I want to know, they talked about rezoning this particular property to a commercial property. If they're going to rezone that to commercial property, will the commercial outweigh the residents that's there and we eventually be pushed out because of eminent domain?
Okay, let me take these one at a time and you address me, Bobby. That's your home. If it's sinking, it's not the city's problem and it's not their problem. It's your problem. So they're not going to go on your property and harm your property. Is that what you are worried about?
Yes, I don't have a problem. I understand that the house are sinking, but I'm saying in development back in May of 2018, 2019, Ms. Goins was also present. Mm-hmm. What they were talking about, because they wanted to redevelop that area because they said that it needed to be a park when they closed City View Park. The warehouses that they have currently up there was not supposed to be placed there because they said the soil was so bad and we're sinking. Now we have warehouses behind us off of Evans and Brooks that's sitting there. They said that the property needed to have another park and they were going to incorporate the current houses that's there into the park, and they were coming in to redevelop those houses as far as taking them up, putting them on stilts to make sure there would be no more sinking, and also to incorporate the landscaping and stuff around them. Now, from the last meeting that we were here in May, they said, oh, it's trash around that area. It looks so bad around that area. So now they want to build more warehouses in that particular area. But have they looked at the schools? Have they looked at the crime rates? You can take kids into warehouses. There is no housing area, but final say so. Would the commercial property overtake the residence property that's there since they are changing the zoning?
No,
Good
it is
point.
not. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Ms. Goins-Brown?
The discussion back in 2018, there's not going to be parts coming put it in there as well. We're not coming in and to lift up houses and we've had several developers to come and meet with us over the years to say that they can rectify the soils issues over there. And just like we explained at the neighborhood meetings, the cost for someone to independently come in and do that would be millions and millions of dollars, and that cost would be passed on to the homeowner because, number one, they would have to displace you to lift the house, to rectify the soil, and then to put you back in there, you're basically buying your home back from whomever is doing that. And so that's not fair to the homeowners over there to do that, because in theory it sounds great, but the cost would totally outweigh. They won't get a return on their investment if they do that. Does that make sense? And then we are not going to come in there right now and say, okay, we're building this project here on this 86-acre parcel. We're pushing you all out. That is not going to happen either.
Okay.
I just questioned that. I just questioned that because I know with planning committee, everything is planned out. 10, 25 years from now, they know exactly what they want to do with those particular properties over there. And the only reason why I questioned that again is because we were told something different. I just want to make sure that my investment, regardless if it's seeking, standing, or whatever, is secure because it is mine.
I understand.
All right.
Thank you.
And all this is on the record for you, and it's stated for you to recognize that you have that in writing now, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Groner, would you like to follow up?
Yeah, what I want to clarify for everybody in the room, in case there's some other neighbors that are here, and Councilwoman knows this, and we've talked about this. So I believe about 4 years ago, the city commissioned a park study. And part of the park study was a proposal to potentially, I think you have City View Park, there's another park in the city, and you were looking at potentially the properties in blue that are located here are actually owned by the city of North Las Vegas. In 2019, there was about 134 lots that are owned by the city. And there was a study that was done about potentially doing something in this area. And I believe that's what she was referring to as far as looking to do linear parks or some kind of parks in that area. That is not the case. It's not happening because it's cost prohibitive from a feasibility standpoint, and you have some other liability issues that go along with that. I understand that, read the booklet. It was about that big of a booklet that was done by a third-party consultant for the city. But that's out there, and I think that's some of the confusion that some of the residents that may live in this area feel that this development that's coming in tonight is impacting the exact properties that are here. And we're not touching the properties in Windsor Park. That's a separate issue. The zoning itself is on the outside of Windsor Park, as you can see highlighted in yellow. So hopefully I've at least giving you some clarity. Been one of the things when I get to my main presentation, which the councilwoman has been adamant of having us look at doing a contribution, some donation to Walker Park. There are some things that need to be fixed. We have been working with Cass Palmer, your Parks Director, and Councilwoman Goins Brown in respect to looking at what we're going to do here. We have made a commitment. We are in that process on that commitment because we want to be a good community partner. That is one of the things and issues I want to discuss on the next item. But I want to put that all together because since we're talking about parks and what may have happened here on the property itself. So that's the properties that you own as of 2019. I don't know if those numbers have changed, but that's the blue area that I believe she's referring to because some of those parcels, as you can see, are sitting vacant near existing homes and other lots that are there.
Let me ask you a question to the city manager and maybe to Mark. I can't really tell, but I know there was some federal money set aside to help residents to move out of that area with that soil. Is that correct?
I don't know who wants to start.
Well, let me finish my question. So the question is, how many of those lots do we own? And if we own them, could we sell them at this time to somebody so that we don't have them just sitting on our rolls, just we're running off people who don't have homes and stuff like that we get sometimes with vacant property? Ms. Claudia, is it you or?
No, it's Mark.
Mark?
Mayor, Council, looking at the numbers that Mr. Groner has up there, those numbers appear to be correct. That probably about 92 of those lots are still occupied.
How about just
the
that
rest
street,
of them,
though? Just that street.
That street. Well, first of all those lots were bought with federal monies, okay. And so. Unfortunately, I'm not the best person to answer that question, but we wouldn't be able to just turn around and sell those lots. If we did, we'd probably have to sell them at fair market value. And then they'd still run into the same concerns of the soils and the development in that area, and that we'd still have the same concerns with it. And so it's not an easy task just to simply say we're going to sell those properties and allow for single-family development. Because it's questions been asked before, and the answer has always been the same, is that we're not looking to see those lots to be redeveloped with single-family homes because we'd run into the same issues with the soils conditions in that area.
Soil conditions. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am, one more.
Can I interject really quick? I'm so sorry. I just want to remind council to try to remain on the topic that's agendized in compliance with the open meeting law. Thank you.
I agree with that. Go ahead.
Okay, it only take me a moment. The question was that you asked about those open lots now that's owned by North Las Vegas. Those lots were full, and what they did was they took the residents, because the houses were seeking, and they placed them at the lower end, which is the Martin Luther King and Cary area. And when they took the people there and they placed them at the lower end, majority of these people were almost owning their home. They were senior citizens. When they placed them on that other end, they actually turned around and put them in another loan, which caused them to be in debt. And when they died off, their kids still end up losing the property because of the way they had the funding label that was under the parents.
Okay.
So, yes.
You're right. It's been way before
I'm saying it was a mess.
Yeah.
And what I can do is just share the latest history. I don't know if I gave that to you, but I will make sure that you get that so that you can just read through it so that we stay on topic with this item. And that'll just answer all of those questions as far as federal goes.
Well, getting back to the public hearing on this item, is there anybody else that would like to speak concerning item number 25? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, and the chair will call for a motion. Ms. Goins-Brown?
Real quick, if you're going to stay to the end, if not, can you just somehow get your email address to me if you're going to leave? And then with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 25.
We have a motion. Council, please cast your vote.
Aye.
When I say I'm going to make the motion, it already switches screens and I haven't touched a thing. And then somehow I push the no button. I don't know what's showing on your end. It's magic.
I manually call your motion, so I think that you're hitting yes at the same time I'm saying that you're putting the motion in.
So I don't have to do that anymore. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure.
And then if you could just confirm your vote.
It's an aye, yes.
Items approved. Now, item number 26 is a companion item to item 25. The same testimony, same discussion has taken place already on that. So unless anybody, Mr. Groner, go ahead and open it up. Or Mr.
Let me read it into the record for
City Manager, and then we'll move through it.
Item number 26, ZN-04-2022, Carey Simmons Industrial, applicant Columbia Industrial Acquisition Company, LLC. Request a property reclassification from R1 Single Family Low Density District to M1 Business Park Industrial District, a location northeast corner of Carey Avenue and Simmons Street.
Thank you. And once again, we'll open a public hearing. Any new testimony concerning this? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We've already handled that with her. She knows that was 2 for 2. So the chair will call for a motion to approve ZN 04-2022.
I'd make a motion to approve item 26.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote.
Aye.
Items approved. Item number 27.
Item number 27,
Thank you.
ZN-15-2020, Lone Mountain Allen, applicant ACAK Irrevocable Trust. Request a property reclassification from RE Ranch Estate District to a PUD Plan Unit Development District consisting of 53 single-family lots, location generally north of Lone Mountain Road between Willis Street and Kinney Way. APNs 124-31-802-008 through 124-31-802-011, 124-32-401-005, and 124-32-401-006.
Thank you.
Mayor, Council, if I may, I'd like to read in a correction on this particular item.
Okay.
When this item was originally applied for back in December of 2020, it was originally for 53 single-family lots. As you recall, during that time, the council gave the applicant direction on what to come back with, a new preliminary development plan, essentially lots that are 30 acres in size and equestrian development and something very similar to the ranch estates and development. As a result, the applicant did submit a revised preliminary development plan, so it's no longer for 53 single-family lots. It is now for 39 single-family lots. And I will be reading some amended corrections or conditions into the record, but that will be for item 40, which is ordinance 3129 when we get to that item.
Okay. I'm assuming you're Mr. Mark Johnson? Is that you?
No, I'm Robert Cunningham.
Oh, no. Okay, go ahead and give your presentation. I have Mr. Johnson wants to come behind you.
Sure. So item 40 is going to be heard later in the agenda. Is that correct?
No, you're on item 27.
Okay. 27 and 40 is a companion item with it, but they'll be heard separately in the agenda. Is that correct? Okay. Just wanted clarification. All right, my name is Robert Cunningham, 6030 South Jones Boulevard with Tanny Engineering. We have been involved in this project for about the last 6 months or so, and with input from the applicant, are here to represent this project today for you. We're also working with Lennar, a developer on this project. This has been a tremendous effort over the past 2 years to get the project here before you today. There's been a significant give and take from all parties involved, including the neighbors, and we thank them and thank Sherry Snyder, who have been through tough but reasonable requests. We're here today to, with that, what we see as a conforming plan to Ordinance 3129 and the development that will create jobs and a beautiful asset to the city of North Las Vegas. We'd like to thank the staff, including Mark Jordan, Robert Eastman, Dale Daffrin, and many more who have worked long and hard hours on this project and have been amazing to work with. We'd like to thank Mayor Lee, the City Council, Councilman Black, who has mediated and worked long and hard on this project. We believe that this project will have both beauty to the area, but no less important, it will add value and bring needed jobs and revenue to the city, especially with top builder in the country, Lennar. We won't go into the details of the changes over the past 2 years, but we'll touch on the changes that was to be made to accommodate the neighbors to the north. Is it appropriate I do that at this time or item 40? We can do it now.
Yeah, let's hear it now.
Okay. This change was to a side yard adjacent to their homes versus a backyard, as well as a side yard adjacent to the residential street instead of a front yard. We're able to accomplish this by a way of unique design of side-loaded lots that's very accommodating and attractive to the subdivision. That's this area. If you see the overhead, if there's any way to zoom out a little. So lots 13 through 20 are side-loaded lots, and you can see by side-loading them, the orientation of the homes is oriented in a side-load fashion, and it provides for less lots adjacent to the residential property to the north versus how it was previously done with the lots that back up to the north. In addition to this, there is a final issue. It's a technical issue we have on one of the conditions on the upcoming item 40, indicating that no guide wire shall be added or modified on the power poles. There's one lot on lot 33 where there's a guide wire that protrudes into the rear yard of this lot. We would like to work with staff and see if we can come to some sort of determination to maybe modify that guide wire to be able to work in the rear yard. Mayor, council, staff, and neighbors, we thank you for your time, and we're open to questions and respectfully request your approval of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor, before we open to public comment, do you have any questions or thoughts, or you can wait?
Mayor Lee, thank you. No, actually, I'd like to hear the public comments. I know there are a few folks here that would like to speak, and then I certainly would like to make some comments as well.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'll open a public hearing. Mr. Johnson, you filed 2 forms for the same item, so I just thought he was the presenter. I'm sorry. But Mr. Mark Johnson and then William Welk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The second one's my wife, Mary.
Okay, welcome.
This is the first time. The last time we had a neighborhood meeting, I think you were there, and we had a long talk about it. I am directly impacted by this, and that side loading is. I can agree with that.
Can we put the screen to show that property?
My main issue is we've been out there for a long time, since the 80s. I think my father-in-law, we first got his building permit in the 70s, and we've just watched that. It used to be called the Greenbelt area of North Las Vegas. Just watched it get chipped away all these years, and this is the first time I've ever been to one of these at the city council. It's always been at the planning commission or a neighborhood meeting, and they have a strategy. They come in. If a bunch of us show up, one of their guys, they forgot a piece of paper, or one of their guys didn't show up for the meeting. Then they reschedule. Well, guys are taking off work and all that, and they just wear us down. And they've done this over and over and over again. And I just would like to see something changed about that, where if they apply and we vote it down or we shoot it down or it gets shot down, they can't reapply for 5 years. They can't come back in a week and reschedule another meeting and just wear us down. That's getting really old. And I was wondering, how is this going to impact us if all this goes in? We're all on septic tanks and water wells out there. Are we going to have to hook up to city power or city water? And because that's going to cost us tens of thousands of dollars, as you know. I mean, do any of you guys own Ranch Estates property? I mean, we all went out there for Ranch Estates property because we can have livestock, we can have horses. All our neighbors have horses. We love that style of living. And that the property just to the east of Willis, that was supposed to be originally a Horseman's Park. And now it got owned by the school district, and now we're hearing plans of future development for that, for more high-density housing. I would like to see the Horseman's Park, but I'm in agreement with this. The other part that impacts Kenny, we don't directly and the other thing too, with it, they have to notify people within 1,000 feet. Well, I could see where that would be great in a regular residential area, but my property's 300 feet deep, so you're only going to have to. They only notify like 15, 20 people. Now I understand Sherry. She used to be like a spokesperson for us. Can I just have just 30 more seconds?
Finish your
She used to be a spokesperson kind of for us. We used to have the Greenbelt Preservation Society back in the day. But, you know, I don't know. She's kind of left us out on whatever but she lives across the street. This doesn't directly impact her. I just wanted to mention that. But, you know, so they never really contacted me. I'm on the other side of the fence, you know, or my wife or any of my neighbors. So that would have been nice. They would have come and talked to us directly. But the other thing is, when they came in and dropped in them 30 or 40 loads of 40-foot trailers full of dirt, man, I didn't see a water truck. None. I had more dirt on my back patio. We've lived in a dust bowl for the last 3 years, and that's partially my fault. I should have called Health District or Dust Control, but I don't really like to start problems for my neighbors. Anyway.
Thank you. Would your wife like to have a moment? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my father bought this property in the 70s. We've lived out there when it was tough. And like he said, when people moved out there, they knew it was going to be hard, and they knew what it was like. So this crouches in. Now, this plan sounds way better than the last plan that we was looking at. But what I'm interested in is in the back that faces my backyard. Are these going to be single-story homes? You know, when they were talking and we were at the meetings, we were just discussing if it was going to be rezoned.
Well, why don't,
then during COVID...
Ask your questions, and I'll have the presenter come back and verify. Is that fair enough? So that's one of your questions?
Yes.
Okay.
And then during COVID, I called about the dust and the dirt and everything, and they said, oh, yeah, it's already planned to go in 50 houses or whatever. We had heard nothing, so we've been kind of like panicking with not knowing what's going on. And like he said, they're dumping stuff, and we don't know exactly. This plan does look better than the last plan, definitely. But I'd like to know what's going to go facing my backyard. Is it going to be single houses? Is it going to be double? I don't want 2 stories. Okay.
Wait,
and is there going to be a block wall?
Okay. We want to make sure we get on the record.
Right.
Okay.
And is there going to be a block wall? And when you was talking about the pathway, is that going to be between my fence, your fence? Is that just going to be like a cut alley that cuts between my property, your property? Like, I don't want it just to be an open alleyway that, you know, people can come through and jump over my fence or anything kind of thing.
Okay. You got that question in your mind? So those are your 2 questions?
Those are my 2 questions.
Great.
And the access, it's going to be coming in off of Allen or off of Willis? Or is that on? So it'll be coming in on Lone Mountain and on
Why don't you
Allen?
come up right now, sir?
Oh,
Just
no,
come back up.
Willis.
We want to get moving on to
See,
this
that's
meeting.
what I was concerned with, is that's going to bring in a lot of traffic this way and this way, going to school and everything. That's a lot of traffic. So they were talking about that entranceway coming in here, but there's going to be one there and there.
Go ahead, sir.
I don't know.
That's correct. There's two entrances on this west portion, one onto Lone Mountain and then one onto Willis to get out to Lone Mountain.
And then did you mention they were single-story homes?
Yes. And I'll confirm the whole entire community is planned to be single-story homes entirely.
Okay.
There's an 8-foot high block wall that's conditioned, and I believe staff will address this later on the north property line as well.
Okay. Is that going to be directly between our house and their yard? Or
Yes.
is there going to be an alleyway?
There will be no alleyway along the
Okay.
north property line. There's one wall that's 8 foot high.
Okay. Sounds better.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and address the council?
Mr. William Work is one of the cards you have.
Oh, you.
Hello. I am actually unique in this whole aspect of this because I am the only house that is actually going to face any of these houses. I am right here on Kenny Way, and I'm the only person facing it. From the whole get-go of this whole process, I've found it highly deceitful and at times insulting. From the first notification for neighborhood meetings on this, them being sent out to the wrong people at the right addresses, and like my address was addressed to somebody completely different. And like, this is the first time most of us are seeing any of this. A lot of people were not able to get here to speak to this because we didn't get the notification in the mail until Thursday, this past Thursday. My other neighbor wanted to, but he couldn't get off from work. This has cost me over $1,000 so far in missed work. And I'm not opposed to it being developed. I started fighting this development due to the fact that I called the lawyers from before trying to ask for certain things and never got a phone call from any of them. Multiple times tried to reach out. And like it was stated, we're on wells. This now runs the water within us where legally we will have to patch in when our wells go out. This is going to cost us a lot of money. The developer is getting more houses than what it was supposed to be here. It was RE preservation. And the only thing we're getting out of this is more houses than what it was supposed to be, and a bill later on down the road for tens of thousands of dollars for us to patch in. I've asked multiple times if they could plumb us in for the city water, the gas, and stuff like that. The streets are going to be tore up. Later on, we're going to have to. The streets are going to get tore up again. Why not just do it now? The developer can pay for this. It's cheap for them. It's already in. They already have the ditches. Why can't we have something like that brought in for this? I would have no problem with it. But give us something in return for them getting something. That's my only thing I have to say.
I recognize what you're saying. That land has been there since Adam walked the earth. And there's been a lot of thoughts and processes and plans, and then it go away and it comes back. Something's going to happen there. It is. We are responsible, seeing that every land owner has an opportunity to, produce on their land. Mr. City Manager, could I have Tom Brady come up? Would that be all right for a second? I think that you propose a good point, but the way conservation is now and what's going on with septic tanks, no return flow credits to the lake, these are tragic times. And so we're doing everything we can to make sure that everybody can have good drinking water. Are you on a well also?
Yes, I am on a well.
On a well. And so Mr. Brady is our utilities director. Do you know enough about this project to make a discussion on it?
I don't, but in general terms, when the city's water and sewer lines are within 400 feet,
yes, if something comes up that they need a building permit, they would be obligated to connect to the city's utilities.
And what is the time period on something like that? When
It's really, they're grandfathered in now, but if, say, they want to do some kind of expansion that requires a building permit or some other function that it requires city approval, that would be the time that we would say so. When their septic system goes out, the obligation will be to connect, because we prohibit new septic systems whenever requested at this point, except under extreme circumstances.
Okay. So did you understand that?
Yes, he's confirming exactly what I'm saying is we will be obligated, and because of this development.
Only when you need it, if you want to expand the size of your house and get a permit.
Or if our septic tank goes out, needs to be replaced, eventually they will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my septic tank was built in the 80s. The well that I'm on was done in the 70s. And this stuff is due to come up, and I will have to patch in.
You will.
Because the lines have made it to where I will legally have to. That's the problem I have is they got more houses. If they did not get the more houses, yes, I could see, not having to really do anything to help us out.
Mr. Wilk, even if they did ranch estates all the way up the street and they put in new houses, you would then have to.
Yes,
so it's
I would
not
have
the zoning.
to change the zoning.
Yeah, but even if it was ranch estates,
yes,
you would have had to comply with what he just told you.
Exactly.
And so,
but
either
what
way,
I'm saying, what you're not listening is what it is.
I hear everything you're saying, but go ahead.
Okay, what I'm saying is you change the zoning. Under the deal, it was not being preservation. Over 50% of us had to vote to change the zoning. We didn't. It still got changed. They are now getting more houses.
Oh, wait, let me straighten you up just so we're talking. Even if you built one house on that property, we would make them bring the water and sewer. Therefore, it would run by your house, and then you would be tied into the same concept that you are, whether there's 39 or 1.
Understood.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is by changing the zoning, they got benefit. We got no benefit.
I see what you're saying on that portion. Well.
And the houses and the pipes are already going to be there. Why can't it just be the stuff be put in to where we could patch in when we need to?
Because that landowner has the right to develop his property the way he wants to, not the way you want to. And so if he wanted to put one house on there, you would be stuck in the same position.
If he would have put one house on there, it would have been fine. Now he's making extra money at our expense.
I don't know if they lose money if the recession. I mean, the world can change, but we're not picking on you. But I do see your point that construction and development is affecting your home.
Yes. What I'm saying is they got a benefit. They got the benefit of more houses. The current residents got no benefit out of that.
Okay.
The only, I would not be up here saying one single word if it was half-acre lots.
Well,
and
we're not forcing you. Just don't put an addition on your house and take care of your septic tank. That will be the only change that ever takes place if it does happen. We won't come and force anything unless there's something that happens. That now we need the water in the valley too. We need to all support what's going on in conservation. So that's the answer. Is there anybody else besides Mr. Wilk? I've said your name wrong already for the record. But anyway, seeing none, we're going to close the public hearing and go to Councilman Black.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. So how many of you here have driven down Verde Way or Willis or Kenny? It's a unique neighborhood. Some of the residents have lived there for a few years. Some have lived there since the 70s, like Mr. Work, like the Johnsons, like Sherry Snyder. That's a unique area. North Las Vegas, I mean, you feel like I was at Sherry's house in the neighborhood yesterday. It feels like you're in a different place. But the fact of the matter is you're surrounded by residential development, commercial development in any direction because of the growth of our community. So when this project first came along 3 or 4 years ago, in its first iteration, the proposal was 115 lots. Very, very inappropriate for the fact that it's a rural preservation overlay district, that they're ranch estate lots. So over time, new iterations have been made through communication, through meetings, through concessions, through ideas, through good ideas and bad ideas. So here we are tonight with, I also want to apologize. The notices went out to say 53 lots. That was a carryover from our meeting that we had back in December of 2020. That's an oversight. That 53 lot plan was declined. And here's what occurred on December 16th, 2020. The city council told the developer and the owner that in order to develop these lots based on our communication with the neighbors through robust meetings and go back and forth and sitting in people's living rooms and in front of their, I got nipped on the leg by a dog. I'm not going to say whose it was, but having these communications got us to where we are tonight. A third-acre lot, not less than 14,000 square feet. These were the direction from the city council on December 16th, 2020. Come back with a plan that does the following. Conforms to a 14,500 square foot lot or greater, single-story home, lighting on the house or on the front of the yard that's low and conducive to the ranch area so as to not create light pollution for the folks that are living in these beautiful rural area. To have a perimeter equestrian trail on Willis, on Lone Mountain, on Allen. Also, it wasn't included, but what the developer is bringing forward, and you'll see from Mr. Cunningham, is to put it all the way around on Kinney, Verde, Lone Mountain, and Allen. So all around that eastern parcel. So that's actually an improvement for what the direction of the city council, to have plants that are conducive. So it's not going to kill your animals if the horse decides to nibble on a bush, it's not going to be toxic or dangerous to them. Those are the conditions. There are more conditions, but those are the basic conditions that the city council told the developer, if and when you come back with this. That's what we're talking about tonight. So Mr. Johnson and Ms. Johnson, they talked about the side loading, the nuances of how we position it. To really, the principle here is the people that are there on Verde, on Kenny, on Willis, were there first. The developer is a newcomer on a vacant lot. Let's give deference to the best of our ability, the existing residents, and make it as conducive for them as it possibly can, within reason, within logic. And I believe that this plan that is being presented today, the number 27 and the number 40, comply with that directive and that principle that was put forth by the council after lots of back and forth meetings on December 16, 2020. So,
thank you. Mr. Durden, you want to read some specifics before we take a motion, is that correct?
Mayor, Council, I will want to read some amendments, but I actually want to wait until item 40 to be able to read those amendments.
Do it in item 40. Okay.
Yeah, this is just for the zoning. We'll bring the ordinance in number 40, ordinance 3129, and that point
Yes,
is
that
when
would be correct.
the details will come forth.
So, Councilman Black, we're going to turn it over to you. We close public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, before you turn it over, I'd just like to also punctuate my colleagues. I've lived here, of course, in North Las Vegas my entire life. And up until not that long ago, we had a thriving pig farm over here off 5th Street, which, the development went all here around it. And for many years, the owner did not sell until just a few years ago. He decided to go ahead and come and work with the city to go ahead and dispose of his property. Things with not trying to sound crass or not trying to sound unfeeling here, but things change. Things change. We're no longer a semi-rural community here, and the community has grown around this area. We now have some new development that's going into what used to be the pig farm. That rural area that was the pig farm that I remember driving out on dirt roads because my dad was friends with Mr. Combs, right? That doesn't exist anymore. My home out there in the north, it used to be a ranch itself. Things change. Our community has grown, has moved out. And what we're talking about here is the culmination of the city working with the developer and our staff to find a working medium, which I think is the very essence of our style of democracy. Not everybody gets what they want, but I think here I could be reading this wrong, but I think we're getting something to where everyone gets what they need. And I just wanted to definitely commend the developer working with the residents our staff, and of course, my colleague, the councilman, who has a very good understanding of his residents. He knows them by name, and well, if the councilman has actually gone out and gotten bitten by someone's dog,
not bitten.
Well, hey,
Pant leg damage. That's all.
I get it. But you have shed blood on this one, okay? In the pursuit of coming to a happy medium, I think that's very commendable. Anyhow, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Black.
If there are no other comments from my colleagues, I would like to make a motion to approve ZN 15-2020.
We have a motion. Council, please make your vote.
Councilman Churchill, aye.
Items approved. Moving on to item number 28.
Item number 28, VAC-10-2022, the Villages of Tule Springs, applicant D.R. Horton to vacate 6 public utility easements and 2 underground drainage easements. 124-16-111-004, 124-16-211-003, 124-16-211-004, 124-16-312-001, and 124-16-311-002, generally located along Tule Springs Parkway.
Thank you. Are you Mr. Armstrong?
Yes, I am.
Are you giving the presentation or just a citizen with concerns?
I'm giving the presentation.
Okay, I just want to make sure we get the presentation and the concern.
Understood.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the council. My name is Jeffrey Armstrong, 2727 South Rainbow, representing the applicant. First, I'd like to thank staff for their favorable recommendation and respectfully request your approval of the vacations. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Council, any comments and questions on this item? And let me open this for public hearing now. Is there anybody here from the public that would like to come speak to us on item number 28? Seeing no one coming up from the audience, we will close the public hearing and we will move on to Councilman Churchill. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go ahead and make a motion on item 28, VAC-10-2022.
And your motion is to approve?
Approval.
Oh, for approval. Okay, thank you very much. Councilor, any comments or questions on it? If not, the chair will take a motion. Please cast your vote. Councilman?
Approval.
Okay. Items approved.
Thank you very much.
Item number 29.
Item number 29, lease agreement with Leadership Institute of Nevada pursuant to NRS 268-064 for 2,645 square feet of office space on the 6th floor of the City Hall according to the terms and conditions of the agreement.
Thank you. Ms. Sheridan, welcome from the Economic Redevelopment Department here this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello. And Mayor and Council, Terry Sheridan for the record, Economic Development. Pleased to be here. The item before you is for a lease agreement with Leadership Institute of Nevada and for space here in City Hall. With us today is a representative of the Leadership Institute, Ms. Ramona Esparza. If you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Council, do we have any comments or questions on this item? Councilman Barone?
Yeah, actually, I just would like to make a comment. Actually, Ms. Ramona Esparza, if you could, Ramona Esparza Stoffgren. I know her as Ramona Esparza because, of course, we go way back. I won't say how long, but just for you to know, Mrs. Esparza is actually a member of a very distinguished family here in the city of North Las Vegas. Her family was picked as the first ever North Las Vegas Hispanic Family of the Year in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month last year. She is a retired educator. She was the principal of Valley High School. Highly recommended. And I'm very happy that she's actually going to be very soon to be one of my neighbors. Would you like to actually come up and explain a little bit about what your organization, that you have retired as an educator and now will be working still in education, but not, well, I'll let you go ahead and explain.
We're going to open
if we can indulge that.
Open up for public hearing.
stating my name for the record, Ramona Esparza, the Vice President of the Leadership Institute of Nevada. Thank you, Mayor Lee and Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown, Councilman Scott Black, and Councilman Isaac Baron. We do have a shared past. We are products of the North Las Vegas community, and I'm proud to say that we are very excited to support your vision and your initiatives with education in the public, private, and charter schools that you serve. So we look forward to being in this space if this should pass today, because we are here to support those initiatives and continue to serve your community.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else in the public who'd like to speak on this? We're closing the public hearing. I will go to Councilman Brown.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to entertain a motion to approve.
Thank you. We have approval to approve the lease agreement. Please cast your vote.
Councilman Churchill, I approve.
Items approved. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Item number 30.
Item number 30, memorandum of understanding with the North Las Vegas Police Officers Association, amending collective bargaining agreement 2021-2024, corrections, a non-supervisor agreement between the City of North Las Vegas and North Las Vegas Police Officers Association, and recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observed on the third Monday of June.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody from the audience who would like to discuss this item with us? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll go to Ms. Brown.
We don't have any comments. We'll just take a motion to approve item 29.
Can you do a verbal? Okay. Mayor and Council, we're having a problem with Sire.
We're on wrong one.
So if we could do verbal votes.
Do I need to do another motion? Item 30. On item 30, motion to approve item 30.
Aye.
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 It's unanimous. Motion is passed. Item 31.
Item number 31, memorandum of understanding of the North Las Vegas Police Supervisors Association, amending collective bargaining agreement, corrections supervisor agreement 2021-2024 between the City of North Las Vegas, Nevada, and the North Las Vegas Police Supervisors Association, recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observed on the third Monday of June.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Would anybody like to come forth and talk to the council on this? Seeing no one come forth, we will close the public hearing. The chair will take a motion.
Move to approve item 31.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote or say aye.
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 It's unanimous.
Item number 32, memorandum of understanding with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 1607, amending collective bargaining agreement, non-supervisor agreement between the City of North Las Vegas and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 1607, July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, and recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observation of the third Monday in June. Mayor and Council, for the record, per the NRS, I would like to inform the Council that this has a fiscal impact of $19,000.
Thank you very much. This is a time for a public hearing. Once again, would anybody like to come forward to the City Council? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. The chair will take a motion. We have a motion. Please cast your vote. Or aye.
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 It's unanimous. Item number 33.
Item number 33, memorandum of understanding with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 1607, amending collective bargaining agreement, supervisor agreement between the City of North Las Vegas and International Association of Firefighters, Local 1607, July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, and recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observed on the third Monday in June. Mayor and Council, I'd like to inform the Council that this will have a fiscal impact of $800.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Anybody would like to come forth? Seeing no one coming forth, we'll close the public hearing. The chair will take a motion.
Move for approval.
Councilman.
We have a motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Thank you, Richard. It's unanimous. Motion is passed.
Item number 34, memorandum of understanding of the North Las Vegas Police Officers Association, amending collective bargaining agreement 2021-2024 agreement between the City of North Las Vegas and North Las Vegas Police Officers Association, and recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observed on the third Monday in June. Mayor and Council, per the NRS, I would like to inform you that this has a fiscal impact of $52,100.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If anybody would like to come forth and discuss this with the council, seeing no one coming forth, we'll close the public hearing. And the chair will take a motion. We have a motion. Councilman Barone. Aye.
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 It's unanimous.
Item number 35, memorandum of understanding with North Las Vegas Police Supervisors Association, mini collective bargaining agreement, supervisor agreement 2021 through 2024 between the City of North Las Vegas and North Las Vegas Police Supervisors Association, and recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday observed on the third Monday in June. Mayor and Council, per the NRS, I'd like to inform you that this has a fiscal impact of $12,500.
Thank you very much. Anybody from the audience would like to come forth on this issue or opening public hearing? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. The chair will take a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown to approve. Aye.
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 It's unanimous. I got one question real quick here. So I just went through this whole list here. Did you not adopt the Teamsters? Did they get left off this? Because I don't see the Teamsters are on here.
Mayor and Council, that's correct. We're still working with the Teamsters to approve an interlocal.
What does that mean to us?
An amendment to their agreement. Sorry, I said interlocal. There's. What do you mean?
I guess my point is, why are they different than everyone else? We're giving a wonderful day to celebrate something that happened in this country. What is different with them than everyone else?
I'm not exactly sure, Mayor. That's probably a question for them. But this is something that whenever council agreed to kind of lead out on the state on creating Juneteenth as a holiday, we did have one particular bargaining group, I believe it was Police Officers Association, where they had language in their contract that suggested that when a federal holiday was created, that it's something that was in their contract. However, that language was not across the board, and we discussed that at the time, but it was council's wishes to make sure that Juneteenth was something that was recognized in our community and was a holiday. At that time, when it was done, after talking with customers and talking with staff, there was the concern that Juneteenth, because it's not a holiday that the day specifies the day. It's not like the 4th of July where a customer can look at their watch and be like, oh no, tomorrow's the 4th of July, I need to get to City Hall today because it's going to be closed tomorrow. Because there was still not as much clarity, that we decided to follow, and we follow how other federal holidays are, where Martin Luther King Day, Labor Day, Memorial Day, those are all observed on a specific day. And so we went back to our bargaining groups and suggested that to them. We didn't have any issue. I think that generally speaking, our customers, this is something that provides some clarity for them. And for our team members, it's something that provides for them for a longer weekend. However, at this point, we've been unable to reach an agreement with the Teamsters for a holiday that the council graciously gave them. And we're still working to try and do that.
So the city, recognizing this is going to be a national issue anyway, and we are the majority minority city in the state of Nevada, we've done this. What are the Teamsters not happy with?
I have to be careful, Mayor, because this is something that is,
Okay, I'll let you do your job, but
I believe that the request from them is they would have preferred us to be open on Monday. They believe that we forced their members to come to work on Monday, and they would like for City Hall to remain open on Monday and for their members to receive a holiday bank instead of having the day off.
Sometimes it would be nice if we could have that union work with everyone else and be a part of this team. I'm just letting you know that. Okay. Thank you very much. We're moving on to the most interesting item on the agenda today, item number 36.
Item number 36, fiscal impact of proposed neighborhood stability ordinance.
Thank you. This is a public hearing, and we've asked Paul from, is it 225 or 228?
226, Mayor.
226. I was in there close. Culinary Union to come forth. He's the representative of this wonderful crowd of people we have here today. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Paul Cath. I represent the Culinary Union. The Culinary Union requests that the North Las Vegas City Council delay adoption of the financial impact statement of the proposed neighborhood stability ordinance. The citizens of North Las Vegas deserve to have an accurate understanding of the impact of the ordinance, and the one study referenced in the staff report does not provide that. There's an urgent crisis of rising rents in North Las Vegas. Rent increased 25% in North Las Vegas on average in 2021. Since 2019, rent for a one-bedroom apartment has gone up 47%, and rent has risen 38% for all apartments. The neighborhood stability ordinance is the only viable solution that has been publicly proposed to address this urgent crisis in the immediate term. The figure referenced in the financial impact statement regarding a loss of 1.8% in property values per year does not appear to be referenced in the Brookings Institute article that is cited in the staff document, which is the sole citation provided. The staff report does not include cost savings from reduced evictions due to lower rents or increased sales tax revenue that will likely result from tenants having more money to spend on goods rather than rising rent. Neighborhood stability will prevent North Las Vegas residents from being evicted and in some cases becoming homeless. Reduced costs associated with lower rates of homelessness and crime moving forward are also not accounted for in the financial impact statement. North Las Vegans deserve a clear and comprehensive report on the financial impact of the neighborhood stability ordinance. This document does not provide that. The City of North Las Vegas should provide staff with additional time to ensure that working families in North Las Vegas are fully informed of the impact of the neighborhood stability ordinance on their community. The Culinary Union urges the North Las Vegas City Council to delay adopting the financial impact statement of the proposed ordinance as written.
Okay, so in layman's terms, you want to validate that impact statement, take a little bit more time with it. Is that
Absolutely,
what you're saying?
sir.
And with that, work with our staff and try to figure out how we're thinking and what you're thinking so that we are in agreement.
Absolutely.
Okay. So staff, we're not going to be acting on item 36. Is there a way you could send us that in writing, though?
Yes, I'm going to send it to you a little bit later. We're waiting on getting some approvals,
Okay.
but I'll send it shortly.
All right. Mr. City Manager, do you have any questions on that?
No, Mayor, I don't. I'm not exactly sure any alternate study that's being proposed at this time by Culinary. I believe that almost every study back from Friedman and Stinger in 1946 has concluded that there's a fiscal impact when it comes to any kind of policies such as the one that's been proposed. I think that it's heartening for me a little bit to hear that Culinary would like to work with staff, because up to this point we've not worked or heard from Culinary at all. And I believe that you all have hired a bunch of professionals that have PhDs in making policy and would love to discuss any other thoughts or ideas that there are. There are a bunch of studies that are out there. This was a study that we felt was kind of middle of the road. It didn't talk about the sky is falling, but it provided some real guidance on the fiscal impact. I believe the fiscal impact statement that's before council is prudent in the fact that it identifies, when you're at the legislatures, you know, Mayor, lots of times there's fiscal impacts that are thrown out there that have all kinds of different costs. I believe that this was a fair representation of limited staff time that this would take. The way that the ordinance is crafted, based on our view of it, is it doesn't place any kind of burden on the staff of North Las Vegas. But that doesn't ignore the fact that it does provide a significant fiscal impact, as all ordinances dealing with rent control do. And by their very nature, that's one of the things that they do. And it's a policy question that's before bodies when they're adopting it. If the cost of it is something that outweighs, or that the benefit outweighs the cost. If it didn't have a fiscal impact, I don't believe this is an ordinance that Culinary would be, or anybody would be interested in, because if it doesn't have a cost, it couldn't really provide real relief.
Okay, I have two people that signed in, and then Bobby's here, but since we're going to withdraw this until further notice, this is going to be, it's withdrawn.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
No. I believe there are other people that they're not, no.
It's gone. What's so important, Bobby, that we're not going to discuss a withdrawn item? That's what I want you to know.
Okay. No, I was just going to speak on behalf of builders, multifamily builders such as Kalita, Pasern, SRB Living. We represent them. We have definitely severe concerns with any proposal for this, but I don't need to go into it if you don't want me to, but I could mention about supply demand to.
No,
Okay.
let's just we've given them the platform.
Okay.
Okay, it's up to
We're
them.
more than willing and interested to have any kind of discussions just for the public record. Okay. Thank you.
Item. So, Paul, your friends can go out to lunch now or dinner and have a good night. We're waiting for you. All right. So, yeah.
Mr. City Manager.
Well, I don't. Wait. I have a question. A technical question. Ryan, we've withdrawn it. We need to vote on that.
Yes, sir. That's what we were just discussing.
That's what it was. Okay.
And with that motion, it would be helpful if there was some direction on. I know that it doesn't seem like there's a time frame, which is perfectly fine. But if there's any direction,
Well, it's continued. That's a good point. Let's call it continued.
Okay.
Let's continue. Can I actually ask a question? Am I allowed to ask a question of this person who asked? Mr. Catholic, just a quick question. Just to clarify for me. So what is it actually that you'll be bringing back to us? Will you have an alternate study?
Yes, we can look and put together an alternate study and and work with staff to come up with a financial impact that we think is valid and that the staff of the city think is valid.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will continue as to further notified. So, Councilman Brown, do you want to?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to move it to I guess a later date.
For whenever they come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. It's in your ballpark now. Okay. Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilman Brown. Please cast your vote. Aye. You guys.
Aye to postpone.
So it's unanimous. Moving on to item number 37.
Sorry, Mayor, we were just confirming because we knew there were some other blue cards that came through. We wanted to make sure that if anybody had a blue card, but legal is okay. Item number 37, fiscal impact of change to zoning for transitional housing. Mayor, this item did not receive they did not file any signatures with the clerk's office, so it's considered dead.
So this is withdrawn. This just didn't happen.
Yeah, correct. One of the things that we did in an abundance of caution to make sure that we were not creating any prejudice towards anybody filling out these ballot initiatives is this agenda due to the holiday on Monday. The agenda actually had to be noticed prior to when the deadline for the initiatives to come in. So just in an abundance of caution, we put item number 36 and number 37 on this agenda sight unseen. We hadn't yet seen any signatures or anything like that, so it's just something that we felt was necessary and prudent to do to make sure that we were showing that we were moving through the process. So this item was placed on the agenda prior to the deadline expiring, but by the time the deadline did expire on the 30th, we had not received any signatures from these petitioners, so this item is considered moot.
Moot, and no motion is necessary. Thank you very much. I see Mr. Silva shaking his head, so that makes me happy. Moving on to business.
Item number 38, set future public hearing dates.
Madam Clerk, City Clerk, I direct you to set any hearing dates as necessary.
Yes, sir, so noted.
Moving on to ordinances, final action.
Item number 39, ordinance number 3116, an ordinance related to zoning, reclassifying approximately 86.18 acres from R1 single family low density district to M1 business park industrial district, ZN-04-2022 Cary Simmons Industrial for property located at the northeast corner of Cary Avenue and Simmons Street, and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Would anybody like to come forth and discuss this item or give a presentation? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, do you have any blue cards or anything down there for this one?
No, sir, we do not.
We don't. I will pass this on then to Ms. Goins-Brown.
I'll just make a motion to approve item 39.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote.
Councilman Churchill, aye.
Lee, aye. Oh, there it goes. Items approved and motion passed. Thank you, Richard. Item number 40.
Item number 40, ordinance number 3129, an ordinance related to zoning, reclassifying approximately 16.6 acres from an RE
Ranch Estate District to a PUD Plan Unit Development District, ZN-15-2020, Lone Mountain and Allen, to allow a 30-acre lot, single-family development for property located generally north of Lone Mountain Road between Willis Street and Kinney Way, and providing further matters properly related thereto.
Thank you. We've heard this as item number 27. This is the follow-up item. This is public hearing. Is there anything else that anyone would like to say on this? I'll open the public hearing now.
Mayor, council members, if I may, this is the
Let
item.
me close the public hearing real quick. Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead, Mark. All right.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit. Again, some amendments I'd like to read on into the record for Ordinance 3129. The ordinance did indicate that this is a 38-lot single-family development, and because of a last-minute change to the preliminary development plan in front of you, where they've shifted to the west side, they basically flipped those lots at the request of the residents in that area. The applicant was able to get in another lot, so it's actually for a 39-lot single-family residential development. As part of that, there are a few amendments to it. Condition 3 would be amended, and I'm just going to read it. An equestrian trail shall be provided around the perimeter of the development along Willis Street, on Mountain, Verde Way, Kinney Way, and Allen Lane. In addition, a 3-rail white fence shall be provided along the equestrian trail. Condition 10 is removed, is stricken from this. Condition 11 is amended to read: a 5-foot wide public utility easement is required adjacent to all streets. Regarding the entrance on Lone Mountain Road between lots 8 and 9, the property wall cannot be located within this easement. This is applicable to every corner/side lot location. Condition 23, we're just adding to that condition, and shall include a sidewalk and/or equestrian trails. The condition still remains the same, just adding that. And then condition 26, again, this is regarding the guide wires that the applicant referred to. We added to that, or as otherwise permitted by the Director of Public Works. That way there would be some flexibility in working of those power poles along that area. And I know in the previous discussions, they talked about the narrow lots on the western side and how the homes would fit on those lots. And there were some discussions about the setbacks for those lots specifically. If there's a desire by this council to give some leeway to the setbacks, I can also read in some amendments to condition 6 if there's desire by this council to do so.
I'll defer to Ms. Goins-Brown.
I don't know if you have.
Oh, I mean, Councilman Black. Wrong guy.
Thank you, Mayor Lee. So as I won't rehash everything that was said in item number 27, but really the focus for me has been what can be done with this 16 acres that's adjacent to a very unique community within North Las Vegas. And that's kind of been, in my mind, the guiding principle of what can be built here that is conducive, compatible, and minimizes the impact to those existing residents with the fact that we live in an urban environment. They're on an island surrounded by residential development over the years. So based on the conditions, I referred back to the meeting that we had in December of 2020. The council said, this is what we need to do or what we need to see in order for this to work adjacent to this unique rural preservation area. I won't say what all the conditions are because I already said them, but the most important ones in summary are that they match the existing area to the best of our ability, knowing that this is a new development. So in deference to the residents on the west side, those 20 lots, they were flipped south to north. The shallower lots that are wider are now switched to the north border because of the request of the residents, and it's logical, and I actually proposed this about 4 years ago, is the alignment. You have 7 existing lots on the Ranch Estates property, and you now have 8 lots that are being proposed rather than the 13 that were there. So the challenge that presents is now these lots are about 155 feet wide, about 93 deep, plus or minus a few feet. And so the homes that the developer would like to place in this lot are such that there would be the side loading, like Mr. and Mrs. Johnson referenced earlier. They're saying, oh, that's a unique and creative approach, and they support that idea. And that's where the adjustments to condition number 6 would come into play. So I support that because it enables, out of the 39 lots, 8 of them are unique because of the width, because of the flip, to satisfy the residents relative to the number of properties that they share a border with. It makes perfect sense to have 8 on 7 instead of 13 on 7. So Those are my comments, Mayor Lee.
So, Mayor, council members, with that, item 6, we would recommend that you amend as follows. With the exception of lots 13 through 20, the development shall comply with the following setbacks. A, front 20 feet. B, interior side 10 feet. C, corner side 10 feet. D, rear 20 feet. For lots 13 through 20, the following setbacks shall be required. A, front 12 feet. B, interior side 10 feet. C, corner side 10 feet. D, rear 12 feet.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
20, 10, 10, front, back, side for 31 lots. For lots 13 through 20, it's 12 feet on the front, 12 feet on the back, 10 and 10 on each side. But based on the layout, it significantly exceeds that on the sides. But remember, those 8 homes are articulated, rotated 180 to be facing east-west, meaning that 12-foot on the back of the property is actually the side of the home, really not a high-use area, 12 feet of space between a wall and a side of a house. Is that right, Mr. Jordan? Okay.
Thank you.
That would be correct.
You articulated that very well.
Mark trained me well. Actually, Robert Eastman did, but I'll give credit to Mark, too.
Are you in agreement with what has been discussed?
Yes, all the proposed condition changes, we're in agreement with those.
Okay, that's what we want to hear. So, Councilman Black, back to you.
I think I've said enough. I think this has been a long time in the making. Pretty much since I joined the council, this awesome piece of land has been bounced around with different iterations, and here we are tonight with, I think, something that gets as close as ideal considering the uniqueness of the existing neighbors. And so I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 3129.
We have a motion. Please cast your vote. I think we might be on. Are we vote or finger?
Voice vote, please.
Voice, aye.
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 Sounded unanimous to me. Items approved. Moving on to ordinances, introduction only.
Thank you.
Item number 41, ordinance number 3120, an ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of North Las Vegas by annexing a parcel of land located at the southeast corner of Ann Road and Sloan Lane and providing for other matters properly related thereto. Item number 42, ordinance number 3122, an ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of North Las Vegas by annexing 3 parcels of land generally located at the southeast corner of North 5th Street and Stephen Avenue and providing for other matters properly related thereto. Item number 43, ordinance number 3130, an ordinance related to zoning, reclassifying approximately 8.42 acres from a C2 general commercial district to a PUD plan unit development, ZN-09-2022 LASN, consisting of 222 unit multifamily development for property located east of Clayton Street and approximately 292 feet north of Craig Road and providing other matters properly related thereto. Item number 44, ordinance number 3131, an ordinance amending Title 17 of the Municipal Code for the City of North Las Vegas relating to zoning ZOA-03-2022 by amending the provisions related to parking of recreational vehicles and residential setbacks, amending other provisions to updated language in Title 17, and providing other matters properly related thereto. Item number 45, ordinance number 3132, an ordinance relating to zoning, reclassifying approximately 10.39 acres from a C1 neighborhood commercial district to an RCL, single-family compact lot residential district, ZN-08-2022, Orchard Canyon 2, and property located at the southwest corner of Lamb Boulevard and Tropical Parkway and provide other matters properly related thereto. Ordinance number 3137, an ordinance amending Title 17 of the Municipal Code of the City of North Las Vegas related to zoning, Planning Commission item ZOA-03-2022 by amending provisions related to permitted uses in redevelopment and business districts by amending licensing requirements in redevelopment districts and provided for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you very much. Moving on to appointments.
Item number 47, appointment of the City Council member to the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance Executive Committee for a 1-year term ending June 30th, 2023.
Thank you. I've had the opportunity since the LVGEA was formed to be on the committee, and we have had a great relationship with them. And this has been a company we've worked with to help through our economic growth. And it's about time I pass that on to somebody else that I think can take it to the next level for the city here. And I would like to appoint Mayor Pro Tem Goins Brown to the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. Would you take that assignment?
I accept that assignment, and just having worked with them over the past year, just to see the importance and relevance of what they're doing with us with our economic endeavors, I gladly accept.
Thank you. So that would be my motion. Please cast your vote. Or aye, Vogel?
Aye.
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
We got it. It's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to City Manager's report.
Council, I've had enough fun for tonight, so I have nothing to report.
So we'll move on to the second public forum. This is a time to talk to us about anything that's related to the city of North Las Vegas. It was not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Remember, no items raised during the second public forum may be deliberated or acted upon by the council. If we find it interesting enough, we'll put it on the agenda for a better discussion. However, the items discussed may be referred to the city manager or other city staff for action by the city council at a later date. I have one blue card. Ms. Kasama, Serena Kasama. Yes, I recognize you. Welcome.
Perfect, thank you. So for the record, my name is Serena Kasama. I am the Government Affairs Director for the Las Vegas Realtors, 6360 South Rainbow Boulevard, Las Vegas, Nevada. So for the record, it is our position that rent control, and this was in regards to the former agenda item 36, but we still would like to put a public comment in. So it is our position that rent control is a failed policy with proven negative effects. In fact, studies show that the fallout of rent control is often directly at odds with the goals of rent control supporters, and such goals being greater number of affordable housing units and stable rents within reach of the working and middle class. And these are admirable goals that we actually do support. But these negative effects include the loss of home values, underinvestment in local communities over time, reduced affordable housing supply, and even an increase in inequality in the long term. So we can look at the history of rent control in the U.S. for examples, and one study shows that the implementation of rent control in San Francisco did lead to a 15% reduction in the affordable housing supply, as well as long-term income inequality and gentrification. But furthermore, we look at a really recent example in St. Paul, Minnesota, where they had a ballot initiative on rent control in the fall of 2021, and it was passed. And a study has come out that to analyze that immediate impact, and it shows that there's about a 6 to 7% decrease in home values since it passed in fall of 2021. And this includes both owner-occupied and investment properties for a total value loss of about $1.6 billion. And so while the fiscal impact proposed by the City of North Las Vegas is very well written, we do actually believe it underestimates the fiscal impact, and so it does deserve a second look. And the loss in property value is a direct hit to both homeowners' equity as well as the property tax revenue collection for the city. And as noted in your fiscal impact statement, this revenue collection helps provide for all manner of public services such as libraries and school funding. And the reduced property value is just one single line item that will directly affect, or at least have a fiscal impact. But there are also plenty of long-term negative effects that lead to, over time, underinvestment, like we said, and a decline in growth and opportunity for the city. And then furthermore, we would like to put it on the record that if we take a step back and look at this issue from a higher level, we do believe that it's only the Nevada State Legislature that has the authority and the exclusive right to both vote on this or to have this go on the ballot measure. And so with that, we do say that Nevada is a Dillon's Rule state where the state legislature does have that ultimate authority that supersedes local municipalities such as the City of North Las Vegas. And with that in mind, I rest my case. But thank you so much for giving us the time. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council at this time? Seeing no one, this meeting is adjourned.